Welcome to Chris Cook for YouTube. Before I get into what I'm going to be preparing today, I wanted to give you a little bit of insight about an upcoming event. In about the next 3 weeks, and I will post the exact date and time, we're going to do a Q&A. This is something you don't want to miss. It's going to be so exciting. I'm going to give away a number of prizes during that Q&A to the people that are going to be watching the Q&A. So you definitely need to be in on that event. The prizes are something that everybody can use, and I know that you will not be disappointed on that night. The one clue that I want to give you starting today is pay attention. That's all I want to say today is pay attention. That's going to be very important in the upcoming event. Now, let's get started with what I'm going to be preparing today. I'm going to prepare an all buttered pound cake. I think this is a recipe that you're really going to enjoy. I hope that you'll try it. We're a little ways from the holidays, and on the holidays you're going to be cooking all kinds of desserts, all kinds of cakes. This is just a couple of different cakes that you can put on your table, and you can really, and your family can really enjoy it. So let's get started with the ingredients that we're going to need. We're going to need, of course, sugar, almond and vanilla extract, salt, cream cheese, any brand that you want to use, 3 sticks of butter, and it should be softened butter, 6 eggs, and I'm using Swan's Down cake flour, but you can use regular cake flour for this as long as you sift it. So I'm going to go away, get myself prepared, and I'll be right back to put together this all butter pound cake. Remember, the clue for today is pay attention. Be right back. Okay, now I'm at my mixer, and I'm going to go ahead and put in my softened butter, and I allowed my softened butter to sit out overnight, and I allowed my cream cheese to sit out as well. Those two are going into my blender or my mixer together. Now I'm going to start them to go ahead and to mix. And I'm going to allow it to mix for a couple of minutes before I go to the next step. Want to make certain that you do not preheat your oven. Your oven is going to be, at the time that you put the cake in the oven, you're going to start your oven. You're not going to preheat it. You're going to set it at 325 degrees. So you're going to allow the cake and the oven to kind of cook and rise and heat together. Okay, now the next step that I'm going to add is I'm going to add my flour in a minute. I'm going to turn this up just a little bit, and I'm going to allow the flour and I'm going to allow the cream cheese and the butter to just mix together. I'm going to stop it for a minute. I'm going to scrape it just a little bit. And one of my viewers told me about something that I can get for this mixer, so I won't have to do that. And I appreciate what she said. And I'm going to look back on that tutorial and see exactly what she named it. But apparently it's a device that you can get for these KitchenAids that will scrape it down and keep it scraped. So I just want her to know, if she's watching, that I am going to take her advice and just go ahead and see if I can order that. Now, once I get that blended together, I'm going to go ahead and start to add my sugar. As always, I'm going to put your recipe at the bottom, or the recipe for this cake. This cake calls for 3 1/4 cup of sugar. So it's 3 sticks of softened butter, 1 8-ounce package of cream cheese, 3 1/4 cup of sugar, 1 teaspoon of almond flavor, 1 teaspoon of vanilla flavor, 1 teaspoon of salt, 6 eggs, put them in one at a time, and 3 cups of flour. You don't have to use cake flour. You can use regular flour, but if you're going to use regular flour and you can sift it, then go ahead and sift it, okay? So I am continuing to add my sugar. Now that I have all of my sugar in, I'm going to go ahead and add my vanilla flavor while it's continuing to mix. I turned it up just a little bit. And I'm going to add my almond flavor. Okay. Now, once I have that all in, I'm just going to allow that to beat for like maybe a minute. No longer than that. Now this is a good cake, simple cake, but yet it's a good cake. And I think that, you know, a lot of people always ask, how do you make an all butter pound cake? How do you make an all butter pound cake? Well, it's truly, truly simple. It's really not a hard thing to do, and I think that this is a cake that you will truly enjoy to prepare for any day. But you know, anything that's really going to be a compliment on your Thanksgiving or your Christmas table, I want to make certain that I bring that to you. Now we're going to go ahead, now that that has fluffed up some, and you can see that it's fluffed up. Okay, see, it has fluffed up some. I'm going to go ahead and add my eggs one at a time, and I do have my mixer set on a medium speed. Now remember what I told you about eggs, that you're supposed to crack your eggs into something other than your ingredients, because if your egg is rotten, you would have messed up all of the ingredients if you put your egg over into the ingredients. So you don't want to do it. You want to crack it in a bowl and then put it into your mixture. Now you want to get in the habit of doing it that way, because that's a better process than you just cracking it and then messing up all of your ingredients that you have. There is no baking powder in this cake. Let me just throw that out there. So you don't need to ask me about that, because a lot of people, they look at my menus and they say, well, at my recipes, and they say, well, you didn't add this, you didn't add that, trying to scrutinize the way to do it. But if you follow this recipe, I think you're truly going to enjoy it. Now I'm gonna, while I'm adding the eggs one at a time, I'm going to go ahead, and here sits my flour. I'm going to take that teaspoon of salt and I'm just going to add it down into the flour. Give it just a little bit of a light stir. I have one more egg to add. There it goes. So that's 6 eggs, and all of my eggs are in. Now I'm going to start to add my flour. Now I've already greased my bundt pan. I didn't flour it. I just went ahead and greased it. If you are used to greasing and then flouring your bundt pan, by all means do it the way that you normally do it. For mine, I find I get less stick when I just go ahead and just oil the bundt pan. And I have it sitting off to the side. Now this cake is going to cook for roughly 1.5 hours at the temperature of 325. Now, if you just follow this tutorial, you should be able to have perfect cake, exactly the way I'm fixing the cake, because as you can see, I have not turned off the camera at all. I'm going to try and get everything in here before I turn it off. And you don't want to just dump all of your flour in at one time. Just go ahead and put in heaping tablespoons full of flour, or put in small amounts. Now, the only thing that I use when I'm baking my cakes that has to be the original, I am very fond of Land O'Lakes butter. And if you got particular things that have been tried, or ingredients that have been tried and tested in your family, you know that you don't deviate from it. Or in your cooking, you don't deviate from it once you find something you like. So that's the way I feel about Land O'Lakes. I'm going to take this up one time, and I'm going to just go ahead and scrape this to make certain that there is no cake batter that's down in the bottom or any place. Let it be just one little time. Alright, that should be it. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and put my cake in my cake pan. Now, I did not cut this video off not one time. And a lot of times you'll see me, if the cooking process of something that I'm doing is going to be long, I'll cut it off just to cut out those minutes. I mean, those are just wasted minutes on YouTube. So I'll just cut it off. And then when it comes to the point that I need you to see, then I'll cut it back on. But with this cake, I did not cut it off one time. I don't want anything to stick down, not that I think it would. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and put my batter into my cake pan or my bundt pan. Cake looks good too. Trying to get the last bit out of the cake pan, because as you all know, I don't believe in throwing away nothing. And if you don't have a spatula, they're 99 cents in the store. Invest in it, because that'll save you, especially at the dollar store, they're 99 cents. But that'll save you from wasting a lot. See how clean my pan is, or my bowl is? Okay, now I'm going to do what I always do. I'm going to run my spatula around into the cake pan. And then I'm going to flop it one time. And that's just, okay. What did I do? I just released the bubbles and then I allowed them to come up and come out. Okay. And I've told you that before. Now I'm going to place this in my oven. I haven't started my oven, so you can walk me over to my oven, which is right behind me. Put it in there. I have not heated it. Sit it in the center. Then I'm going to cut my oven on to 325, and I'm going to allow this oven to go ahead and to bake. Put on the wrong side. Hold on a minute. Let me cut this off. Now. Okay, that's 325. I'm going to allow it to cook for roughly an hour and 25 minutes. When it gets done, I'll bring you back, show you what it looks like. Be right back. Hi, now I'm back and I've just taken this all butter pound cake out of the oven and I wanted to show it to you. I can't bring it to you from the stove area because I am preparing my dinner and it's just a lot going on over there. So I just went ahead and I've taken it out of the pan and I'm showing it to you now. Now the only thing is it's too hot for me to cut. So I cannot cut it now. I'll probably just show you a slice on the tutorial, but I wanted to make certain that you saw this cake. Now, another thing I want to bring to you, as I started in the beginning to tell you, there's going to be a Q&A in about 3 weeks. I will put the date up. You really don't want to miss this because it's going to be so exciting. I'm going to give away some fantastic gifts that I think you're really going to love, and that's just to show you my appreciation. But the only way that you can win any of the gifts that I'm going to be giving away is you have to be present that night. So I need as many of you that can watch that night, and I will give you the date to watch it. But remember, there is a clue that I'm giving out today, and that's pay attention. Now don't forget, but use that for everything that you can to try to figure out what's going on. Pay attention. I think that we're really going to have fun that night. I'm going to be answering your questions, as many of them as I can possibly take. And I really want to show you that I do appreciate you watching me. And all of my longtime viewers, I definitely appreciate you because you've been with me so long. But I just want to give you that one little clue. Pay attention on what's going on with the Q&A. So, this is my all butter bundt cake. I'm sorry, that's all I'm going to say. And as always, thank you for watching Chris Cook for YouTube. Bye.